What is coming to completion? What cycles in your life have come to an end so new things can start and grow? As I was already picking the cards, the first card that came out was the Tower. So this might be something in your life that really shook you up. There was a big break in your life, something that you consciously can say before and after this happened. Does that make sense? And it left you free falling. It left you free falling. You might have been thinking that you were safe, that you were okay. This is a fairy tale deck that I picked without the conscious choice of picking such. But what I'm sensing is this could be something where you were hoping for a fairy tale ending and it didn't come as such. We do have Rapunzel in this tower here. So Rapunzel was hidden away and happy? Questionable. But we're going to see, why did this happen? And all the cards are falling down today. Wow. The Ace of Swords. Everything is just falling out of my hands today. Things are just happening and you're like potentially not really able to intervene with what happened or what is happening. I'm doing this reading on the 9/9 portal, so the 9th of September 2025. It's a very special date that indicates that certain things are coming to an end, things are coming to a close. And with the Ace of Swords having come out a second, this was a very decisive thing. You were caught in a web. You were caught in a web, and I'm hearing a web of lies potentially. But there is something here that you had to cut yourself out of. The way of thinking, the way you were looking at the situation, it had to change. It had to change, and this came about with this Tower moment, with things completely crumbling under your feet. The foundation that you thought to be steady was not such. Why did this happen then? Why did this cycle, or why did this happen? I think we're going to look into what's coming now in regards to how this has ended and how it is implementing your life now. But I do want to get a bit more information on this situation that happened in your life. Can we have more on the Tower situation, please? Specifically the Tower. Okay, this one. Oof, we have the Four of Wands in reverse, my friends. The Four of Wands is a beautiful card. It's about reaching a threshold and celebrating that threshold. And in this depiction, we have two lovers coming together and celebrating their union. This was in reverse. So this could have been the end of some sort of a partnership in your life, whether romantic or business. But what I'm sensing is this was something that you really thought had foundation, right? You were really seeing a baseline from which you were building stuff, and then it just kind of crumbled. How is this situation? How is this lesson, whatever, coming to an end? Oh, we have an explanation for the Four of Wands before we go into that. The Nine of Cups, and we have more lovers. And actually, in this depiction, I'm pretty sure that we have an LGBT couple here. I think so, if I remember the story behind this, kind of. But what I'm sensing is this had to come to an end. Whatever was in your past, whatever situation came crumbling down, this was so you could reach your emotional fulfillment. The Nine of Cups is that, reaching your emotional fulfillment. And in this depiction of the card, it is shown in a relationship, it is shown in a partnership. In a partnership that is potentially out of the ordinary in the sense. So it's not what you were expecting maybe for yourself or what others were expecting for you. But I love that. I love that. That is kind of the full circle moment. Yes, I'm seeing it now with the cards laying here as well. There is this full circle moment happening in your life where potentially new relationships are coming up, new people are coming into your life, and old people are leaving it. There is yeah, I'm seeing it. It's like you're throwing out what needs to be gone, and then new things can come in. And this is the energy you're in right now. In regards to your emotional fulfillment, though, I want to find out what is this new thing or new cycle that we're going into then? What is the new? But I think Yeah, it's very much to do with this Nine of Cups. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and this is the spider god, Anasi or something. I'm sorry if I'm not remembering the name, but this is from like tribal folklore, like different tribes in Africa. I'm not sure exactly where just now, but he is depicting the Wheel of Fortune. This god or deity is seen as a very mischievous guy who sometimes makes you go through difficult situations for the sake of, you know, you gaining something at the end of it, or them gaining something at the end of it. With this coming in reverse, I'm sensing that what felt like misfortune in your life is going to turn out as good fortune, right? This tower moment, this releasing of something that was dear to you, that you thought to be stable, that is broken apart. This misfortune is going to turn out to be something very positive in your life, and it's going to allow for you to get into this Nine of Cups energy, which is so lovely. And I'm really sensing that the emphasis here is on this not misunderstanding, but it's your expectation of an outcome being different, and then you judging what happens as negative. For you then in the future, once you see the bigger picture and you see where you've gone, where you've come from, where you're going, you'll see, oh my, this was actually amazing that happened. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, what else do we need to speak on? A message of peace. Finding peace. Maybe with what has happened in your life. Finding peace with where you are in your life. Yeah. And I'm placing the card very subconsciously here next to the Ace of Swords. So this newfound way of thinking, of you changing how your behavioral patterns, your thinking structures. And this coming from a place of wanting to embody peace, wanting to not have things crumble. So you're kind of like, I was going to say you're kind of trying to establish yourself in a place where you are making sure that you're solid in your foundation. But what I'm sensing, this is also a message, but for most of you, this is a matter that is coming up right now, and that is causing you distress, that is taking you out of this space of peace within. And you're being called to just remember, this is okay, you're okay. We have the spider god, making sure that you are okay and making things happen in your life that might not feel as happy or good or positive for your development, but they are. You just aren't seeing the bigger picture yet. So I'm going to see for you, my dear. With this ending, amazing. I'm so happy that you are getting out of this, and I want to mention how important it is in our lives to be able for things to fall away that are not meant for us. We rarely, I don't know anyone who's been born into a situation where they hadn't had to do any sort of release in their life or changing things up to truly find happiness. I think we all have to, this is all part of the journey, right? That we come onto this plane of existence for. We go through experiences in an effort for us to grow and for us to learn and for us to connect back to oneness. And sometimes when you tell a kid that they're not allowed to touch the fire because they're going to get burned, and they don't listen, they're very adamant that they can touch it and they're going to be fine. You just have to let them do it. You have to let them feel the pain and the discomfort that comes from their choices, that also come from a lack of knowledge, right, and experience, to experience the pain so they then know not to do something in the future. And this is why I think it's Anasi put this into your place. I'm going to put in a bit of information about him. I'm feeling very called to. Down in the comments, I'll write a little something on him, because he's a very interesting character. But what else does the collective need to hear? And I'm also sensing, I'm feeling the need to share with you guys that you might be feeling more exhausted right now. And struggling to kind of find the energy to do things that bring you joy. And this is all just the energy, the heaviness of what's going on, of these shifts happening. But I think, this is all meant to be. So I'm hearing in my head, trying to digest information that's coming down while I'm speaking as well. So we're gonna We're gonna try and get you more cards. What does the collective need to hear? Oh my, look at this. The 8 of Coins. My dear, and this 8 of Coins, look, she's crying. I don't know if you can tell. The 8 of Coins is someone who's working on their craft, mastering their craft, okay? And this 8 of Coins, this girl is working very hard, but not for herself, but for others. She's trying to save her brothers who got turned into swans. She's trying to basically undo the spell by sacrificing herself. And there was a message on sacrifice in yesterday's video, so maybe there's something there for you. But what I'm sensing is you're used to having to put a lot of work in, a lot of effort into whatever you want to establish in your life. So you allow for things to sometimes be more than, I'm hearing more than even no, that's not the word. I'm hearing it in my head, but I can't say the word. Like you accept less than you actually need, because you're just so used to that being the thing, right? And you're so used to having to put in a lot of effort to gain even just the slightest bit of hope for something to change or for your dreams to come true. And I think this is a lesson that you had to go through. You had to go through this pain. You had to go through this loss so you could come out the other end. And this is all in a way divinely orchestrated for you, for your own personal growth. What else do we need to hear today then? Submission. Submission. And I'm hearing this is a matter of you turning a bit the way you submit, changing that up. So you might have been someone who submits to the, I'm hearing the elements, but also just the mood swings of yourself and others. Whatever is going on externally that influences you, that kind of taking over the mind. Now I'm seeing that you're submitting to whatever has to happen for you to get to the 9 of Cups, because the tiger here is almost bowing, and the way I placed here the cards, it's bowing to this 9 of Cups, to this dream fulfillment of yours, reaching a place of true honest contentment. And I find it beautiful that it's depicted here in a couple, because it's normally very much self-centered emotional fulfillment rather than like in a familial bliss kind of way. That would be the 10 of Cups. So maybe the 10 of Cups is then what comes afterwards. Once you find this happiness within, the relationship is going to come along. Or you're opening up yourself now to relationships and people in your life that maybe are not your usual type, because you're trying new things, right? We have the Ace of Swords here, this new way of thinking. So maybe going against what you knew, because what you knew only brought you a tower that broke apart, right? Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. So what guidance do we have for the collective today? And we're going to pick some here. Let's see. What does the collective need to hear today, right now? 1, 2. And we go 3. And actually, I think I need to pick you one more card, because we are lacking symmetry on my spread, and I don't like this. So we're gonna get one more card, please, for the collective as a guidance, maybe. Oh, those are a lot of cards coming out. What I'm gonna do is reshuffle them and trust that whatever needs to will come out. We have the 9 of Coins and the Emperor in reverse. Now we're again, the symmetry is gone. So sometimes your plans are not meant to be. Oh yeah, sometimes your plans are not meant to be. And sometimes being in charge of your life is to let go of the actual act of being in charge. We had the 8 of Coins, the working really hard, right? Now you have the 9 of Coins, which is enjoying the fruits of your labor. Literally, this dude grew a watermelon and now he gets to eat it. That's so cool. But we have also the Emperor come out in reverse. So this is letting things flow. The Emperor is the male father figure of the tarot. It's the proactive one trying to establish stability. And here depicted is Arthur, the king of England, with the sword, you know, where he like sticks it in a stone and stuff. So this is in reverse. I'm sensing that this is about you again submitting, right? Submitting to the way things go. Holding steady and holding fast onto your beliefs and knowing what you are trying to establish in your life and have in your life, what kind of relationships and actual life you have around you. But that from a place of like, okay, I'm just letting it be, letting it flow. And our last little messages here that we picked. This is from the Analects of Confucius is how you say it, which I have a video on that actually. Maybe I'll put that in the comments as well. But here we go. We have, by 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Oh my God, ain't that the truth? Oh my God, yes. Oof, and I'm feeling such heaviness now. There's the third one, by experience. I think you had to experience pain. What I was saying with the kid touching the stove. Firstly, by reflection, you can say to the child, logically speaking, if you touch something that is very hot, your skin is not meant to withstand such heat. You're going to hurt yourself. That's the reflection. Second is, you see someone get hurt and they don't do it anymore, so now you don't do it. You didn't have to experience it for you to learn that you shouldn't do it. And the third one is, you touch it and now you've had the experience, it hurt, you burned yourself. But either way, you've learned something at the end of this ordeal. You've gained wisdom about what the fire is going to do to you. And just like that, with whatever happened in your life, this was for you to gain wisdom. This falling away is meant to happen. People are very scared of the tower, and this was the first card that came out as I was shuffling. But the tower is not a bad thing. If you have a house and the foundation is faulty, would you not want to know? Wouldn't you want to know so you can make sure that, you know, you're not gonna like lose everything you build for years and years because it just cracks apart and falls? Yeah, you would. And if you bought a house that's full of termites, better to know early on than too late. And I think this was the lesson that you had to experience, dear. Not just see, not just hear about, but experience. A year from now, you may wish you had started today. What does that mean for you? What came to your mind just now as I was reading that? What do you wish you would start today? Is there anything in your life that right now you have all of these external things and also internal fears that are holding you back from doing it? What is it? Can you in any way, shape or form actually embrace it and do it in your life? And even if it's just a little bit. Think about that. Think about that, because I think the way I'm seeing this here, whatever you have been craving, whatever has been calling from you, from within, for you to do, to change, to just really throw out if you need it to be thrown out. Let's do it now. I think this is going to be the first steps for you to be sure that the foundation for the next house you build is going to be stable and it's going to be balanced and secure. And the last one, we're leaving this reading today with Rumi. Do not feel lonely. The entire universe is inside you. It sure is, my dear. It sure is. And isn't that comforting? Isn't it comforting to know that no matter what you do in this life, no matter how, and here come the labels, the humanness, right? Good, bad, exciting, boring your life is. Isn't it comforting to know that we are all going to return to all that is, that the entire universe exists before us, after us. We come from question mark and we go to question mark. And I find that extremely beautiful. I think it's the one thing that really makes this life worth living, right? knowing that it is a temporary thing. And maybe that is also a new way of you looking at the situation that we're talking about. Seeing how the beauty in it, seeing the good of it. How the experience in itself is maybe worth more than any potential fantasy you could have dreamed up, you know, because it was real. All right, my dear, thank you so much if you made it up to here. If you're interested in personal readings, my info is in the description. And I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.